So you have a Scottish festival in a week, you work a full-time job, and you've got to get yourself a cute plaid skirt out quick. I'm sure that happens to you all the time, right? All right, I'm gonna be real with you, friends. I did not push record. So this is my second filming and you get the awesome version. Yay! Today we're gonna make a circle skirt. They're super easy and you can make your own pattern to fit your own body with like minimal effort and math. So this is just a cute all-rounder. When I say circle skirt, I'm sure like think poodle skirt. Super full, really beautiful pleats. But you can make them any length. When you do that, you fold your fabric in half. So this is like pretty typical, right? This is how it comes from the store. You've got your selvage and your fold. And then again. So now you have this corner where all the folds meet. And you are going to take a measuring tool and you're going to measure the radius of your waist or wherever you're wanting your skirt to set. So I'm going to show you how to find the radius in a minute. But you're going to use that radius to measure down from this corner in an arc, and that's going to be your that's going to be the opening of the skirt where your waist goes. Then you're going to decide how long you want your skirt, and you're going to draw another curve measuring down from this top corner to make sure that this is the same all the way around. And again, you can make this any length you want. There we go. So that when you open it, you end up with this really nice skirt that just pleats and folds and is very, very full. And you can wear it with a petticoat or you can just let it kind of drape around you. And it's just a fun look that's also super easy to create. So for mine, I want to do a 3/4 circle skirt, not 3/4 fullness. You can do that as well. You just change the measurement up a little bit on your circumference. But for me, I want it to go around my body and then overlap 1/4. So I'm going to pretend that my circumference is only 3/4 of the total number that I'm about to calculate. So the radius for a circle skirt, we have to go from the circumference, which I know is 46, to finding a radius. So we're going to do 3/4 of C, because I want that last fourth to overlap the panel, is going to equal 46 inches. So we're going to get that extra 1/4 right here by doing this math. C equals 61.3 repeating. So now we have our total circumference for the skirt. I like to work with radius so that I can just pin down from that corner. So we're gonna find that now. Don't worry, everybody, it's online. You can even plug into formulas. The radius is gonna equal the circumference divided by 2 times pi. So my radiance, because that number is gonna go right into that formula. So my radius is going to equal 61.3 repeating divided by 6.28. My radius is 9.77 repeating. I am probably going to go with 9.75 and it might mess me up and it might make my skirt too small, but I'm doing an overlap. So if it's a little bit off, it's okay. We're going to go with it. So that's my measurements. My skirt is going to be a little bit different than the other circle skirt that we showed you just a minute ago. I want kind of a cool scallop edge to add some interest to an otherwise pretty chill skirt. So I'm going to measure down 9.75, 9.75 all the way around my radius. And then I'm going to leave the skirt as it is with the points. And that's going to make kind of a scalloped edge that I think will look really cool with the plaid. I'm also really tall, so I'm not going to cut that down. I'm going to leave it and see how it works, and if I need to shorten it afterwards, then I can hem it. But for me, I want to get as much length from the fabric as I can. So that I end up with this petaled scallopy look from the skirt when I'm done. So we will see. Let's go to the sewing room. You guys, Early Bird is delicious, easy, cheaper than energy drinks, and helps me focus. A must-have when I'm drafting a new pattern. The first thing I do is chalk out my radius that we got when we were doing the math. And then I am going to cut along the line with scissors instead of a rotary cutter so that I maintain that stripe. I do this to 2 blocks of fabric because I want a scalloped look on my skirt today. The next thing that I'm going to do is run a tight zigzag stitch on the raw edges of my scallops. This lets it fray, but only to the point where I want it to fray. I use this trick all the time on blue jeans, for example. This is me laying out my scallops so that the point of one layer hits the scoop of the other, making a more consistent length to the skirt all around. Of course, sewing them together. Time for an initial fit, and oh my gosh, guys, it is so short in the back, way too short. Luckily, I have some extra left over that I can cut off and add to lengthen in the back. This is one of my favorite parts of making clothes myself, is the problem solving, adjust as you go. You can see that I've cut off that extra piece and dropped it 3 inches below the back in between my layers so you won't even see it when it's finished. I wanted a big chunky waistband, so I went with 6 inches. There's my math, pause it if you need it. And then some iron-on interfacing inside, just keep it stiff. I love my Amber 600. Have I mentioned it about 50 million times? It is so easy to get projects done with a serger, guys. Of course, press your seams open, always. And here I'm gonna have one seam going one way and the other going the other way so that it reduces the bulk in the back of the waistband. Again, reducing the bulk, I'm just gonna trim away right where the 2 pieces meet so that it'll lay nice and flat there. Always trim your seams, guys. Okay, the waistband is made. The skirt is scalloped. I have an extra panel 3 inches long in the back. It is time to put on the waistband. Right stitches together, sew and press open. Before I press in the seam allowance and top stitch, I need to add some darts because this is such a tall waistband. So I put the outfit on and just kind of pinned where I felt like they needed to be. You guys, I desperately need a dress form. This is me looking at the darts and measuring the amount of fabric they take up and the length so that I can get an average and make it symmetrical on both sides. Then we're gonna open it up. We're doing fishtail darts on this waistband so that the dart is the same on the inside and the outside of the waistband without having to just pinch the fabric. It's a cleaner look and it'll reduce bulk. So I'm going to measure how far from the center on each side. And once I have my center, I'm going to measure out the length that I need my dart to be across. So I ended up taking up 2 inches on each side, which is 1 inch on either side of center, and 4 inches down on the waistband and the waistband facing. So that's what you see me writing right now. In the end, this is going to make a diamond. And you're just gonna sew along the edges of that diamond, starting at the center, the whitest point, and going to the edge of your dart just like normal, running off the fabric a little bit and tying a knot. This is it. This is my fishtail diamond dart. This is me reducing that bulk that we talked about. I'm just gonna cut the dart out. I'm gonna go all the way to the edge with my little teeny weeny scissors, cut the edges open completely, and press, because you know I press everything. Now it is finally time to turn under and stitch in the ditch. Once the waistband is secure, it is time to try it on. I put some Velcro because this is a speed project and it fits. So I put Velcro on the inside for the initial closure, but I wanted a cute, I guess slightly steampunky latch effect. So I made a tube and turned it. This took forever because flannel is thick and this tube is small, but I did eventually get it with the good old safety pin method after breaking the safety pin. Once you have it though, it goes quick. Use these to attach both the latch and the hook. Sew everything down with the bar tack stitch, nice and secure, and voila! Brass hooks with a nice fuzzy edge. On the latch side, I'm using Velcro again so it can be adjustable as I hopefully lose some weight. Final project wasn't quite final enough, I needed more! So I am embroidering a nice tone-on-tone blue giant Celtic knot that turned out so cute even if it is nice and subtle. The final result, a cute, comfortable skirt that is long enough in the back, and I definitely think you can make one too. Follow my playlist for more sewing advice and let me know in the comments what is your next make.